Okay, so trying to see if I can have a good map here, a good match, I should say. I'm going to vote for Canyon Network. I doubt I will get it, but that is my favorite of these maps that are available. Terra Therma and Caustic Valley are very hot, and I hate Polar Highlands. All right, we'll see how it goes. Polar Highlands is a cold map, which is good for me because I have hot lasers. So a cold map will help me not to overheat as much, but Polar Highlands is a huge map, and I am in a slow mech, and it favors long range weapons, and I have very short range weapons, and it favors mechs that are either physically small altogether, or mechs that have a bird leg configuration. That is to say, mechs that have backwards bending knees. Those mechs tend to be shorter. They have sort of a hunched over short pose. I'm in a bipedal, basically sort of humanoid shaped mech. I'm very tall, and there isn't a lot of cover on this map, so the top part of my body is more exposed more of the time than if I were in a smaller mech or in a bird configuration mech. But, I'll do the best I can. We'll see. This map can sometimes devolve into some good short range brawling, which is my favored style. So I don't like this map, but it might turn out okay if I'm lucky. I'm in an Executioner. For old school Battletech players, that is a 95-ton clan mech. The Executioner is an interesting design. Um, it has a bit of a bad reputation because it can't hold as many weapons as some other mechs of its size, or even mechs that are smaller than it. And that's because it has two pieces of equipment that are built into it that are not removable. It has jump jets, which are a little bit unusual for a mech this big, and they cannot be removed. And it also has a system called mask, and mask is basically a kind of like turbo button, which allows me to go faster for short periods of time. The combination of here, I'm going to switch over to thermal mode because this map is very bright in the daytime, and you see these sort of washed out sunny highlights here. When I go in thermal mode, the terrain is much more clearly laid out. Anyway, so the combination of the speed boost from the mask and the maneuverability I get from my jump jets makes me pretty maneuverable for a mech my speed, a mech my size. But I am relatively lightly armed. In front of me, this waddling mech. You can see what I mean. I'm going to actually use my mask to speed up a little bit here. You can see the little bar go up as I can only run mask for a short amount of time before it starts to do damage to my legs, and it needs to cool down. But this is a king crab. It's a little bit heavier than me, but not much. It's a 100-ton mech versus 95. But you see the bird leg, you see the backwards pointing knees, and how it has sort of a hunched over configuration. He's Even though he's a slightly heavier mech than me, he's shorter. So if we're both standing behind the same amount of cover, more of the top of my mech sticks out, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But whatever. Let's see. Here's the back of my mech, so you can at least see what I mean here. And I'll go out of third-person view because it's not very useful for me. Uh, so there is cover because you've got all these little kind of like ruts that you can move around in, but it's very easy to get exposed on this map, and there's a lot of long-range weapons that can really just wreck you before you can do anything on this map, which is a pain in the butt. Uh, for a lot of this match, I'm probably going to have to just sit and kind of do nothing and just try to stay in as much cover as I can and hope that it devolves into a shorter range brawl. My my weapons only go 186 meters. Um, Beyond that, I can fire about around to 300 meters, but for much reduced damage. If I want to do full damage, 186 meters is the limit. By contrast, there are some weapons in this game that can go like 1200 meters. So, oh, I'm already getting hit by some bullshit. And I don't even know where I got hit from. It's hard to take cover from an enemy when you don't know where they are. So obviously I've got teammates over there that are engaged with something.
Target acquired.
There's one or two
New target acquired.
enemies I can see.
New
And there's a
target
little bit of...
acquired.
Oh, an Ebon Jaguar. You know what? I'm going to go after him. I think he's heading towards our home base. Yeah, let's see what we can do with Mr. Ebon Jaguar. Oh. He's engaging the guy behind me. You can see I just blew the shit out of him because he's finally close enough for my weapons to be effective.
Target destroyed.
And I killed him. That's what I can do when I've got an enemy that's actually
Heat level critical.
pretty close.
Target acquired. Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
So what happens there is he overheated and shut down, and I blew his leg off. Then I overheated, which shut down my thermal, and I'm going to put thermal back on. And now it's 5-1, which is a really nice advantage for us. And we'll probably win this game unless we do something stupid. I'm just going to follow around behind this this mech here, this Black Widow, and support him in his endeavors.
Target acquired.
Torso twist.
Target destroyed.
And he's dead. Because of short range, I do a shitload of damage. I'm going to use my mask again. Oh, no, that was my jump jets. I'm going to use my mask again to speed up. And try to get with the rest of my people. My peeps, my homie, my crew.
Target acquired.
Still trying to stay in cover. I've taken a lot of damage now, so I can probably get into like one more fight before I die. But because it's 8-1, that's probably enough. 8-2.
New target acquired.
Oh, he's almost dead. Yeah, there he goes. Only one left.
Acquired.
Direwolf. He's dead. I'm not even going to get to him in time.
Target
There he goes. Victory! So I think I got 2 kills and maybe like 5 assists, something like that. Oh, only 2 assists. Huh, oh well. So yeah, 2 kills, 500 damage. That's okay. That's an okay match. We won.